What is going on, everybody? Captain Namco here. So we're going to do a little stream while I'm walking uptown. So yes, I am going to film a claw machine video while I'm out and about. So, well, maybe will I get a train? Maybe. But we're going to be talking about claw machines only here. A lot of people wonder, and I mean, there's going to be some newbies out there who might come across my channel, and I do recommend you guys to take notes, especially when it comes to restocking the claw machines. Now, you also need to know, when it comes to setting claw machines, you also need to know the value of the plush that you are getting. Now, obviously, all generics is a little bit cheaper. I wouldn't say a little bit, but they are cheaper than licensed plush. So take, for example, if you see my restock videos over at the movie theater here in town, the Mario plush is roughly $5 a pop. I think those might be a little bit more expensive than any other licensed plush, but they could all be the same price. Typically, with product at that kind of price, you do want to weaken the claw so you don't lose out on that. And especially if you are running, if you're running it all in a toy soldier, I recommend you set that claw strength down below 30% and have the bottom down on 18. So I go, maybe 26 or 25% on VR1 and drop it down to 18 on number 2. So there's that. Also, a big thing, what can also be a determining factor as far as how much money your claw machine will make, is the presentation of prizes. So if you just say, for example, you just toss them in there, you're going to get picked. You're going to get picked clean. You're not going to make a lot of money. So then you wouldn't be able to pay the location owner their commission, which would ultimately cause you to lose that location if you cannot make up for it or whatever. So meaning, you want to run all licensed plush to help rake in money, then by all means do it, and then you'll need to set your claw machine accordingly, and vice versa. So you're probably wondering, what would you run a payout on, like, all licensed plush? Well, anywhere from 1 in 10 and 1 to 1 in 15, I would say. But I would definitely do a 1 in 15 ratio on mine. But as far as how your machines do, the presentation of prizes is always key. And you'll see that in one of my claw machine videos when I get ready to film one. And I'll kind of explain that a little bit as I go. So, a lot of vendors tend to, when they put their prizes in the machine, they always have the prizes facing forward. So you're probably thinking, what do you mean? What do you mean by facing forward? Having them basically looking at the player saying, hey, try to get me if you can. It's basically going to entice a player to want to play your machine. However, it is very important to know there's a fine line that you need to draw when setting the plush in your machine. When starting a base, I would make it really tight. And then start building up on it, because obviously you don't want that bottom. You want that bottom layer first in there really tight enough to where it's not going to move when you start building up on that from the bottom up. Now, I've had to do it. And typically with the Neon World, when I help my vendor friend who owns that machine, I typically make the base really tight, and then that way it's stable, so when I build that second layer up and work my way up to the top, that bottom half is not going to shift around on me. But then again, the best thing about that part is if you don't come in, say, every 2 or 3 weeks and say your machine runs low, then the beauty about that is you got stuff at the bottom of the machine. It's not technically empty. So that way you're not going to get a call saying, hey, your machine is empty, blah, 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 come and fill it or get it out of here. Which typically a lot of locations would do that. Hence the reason why you either put what they call big stuff in, and they use it for what they refer to as a filler. So basically what the ideal of the filler is for your machine is to make it appear a little bit fuller than what it actually is. And the whole point of the filler is to be big enough to where the claw can't either pick it up or you just can't win it in general. Which is what typically vendors do. They'll put the big stuff at the very bottom, the stuff that they know the claw cannot absolutely pick up. That's a big thing. So, moving on. So why is it important to never... A common question that's always been asked. Why is it important to always present your prizes in a way to get people to want to play your machine? Or to prevent you from getting picked clean? Well, here's the big answer to this. It is very important to present your prizes in a nice and neat manner. Why? Because that means people's going to want to keep coming back to your machine, number one, and trying to win anything that your machine has to offer. However, if it's just tossed in there, one, you're going to lose money, and people's not going to be able to see exactly what it is that you are offering in your machine. You obviously want people to see what you are offering for people to possibly win. Not necessarily on the first try, mind you, but you want people to see what you are offering in your machines. Thus is what they call presentation of prizes, hence the reason why they say face your prizes forward. Don't just sit there and just kind of toss them in there like this, and not even take time to set them up. That's something that people need to do. You need it is a little time consuming, yes, but it is worth it. It is well worth it. So don't ever toss your stuff in there. When you put it in there, start facing everything forward and vice versa. Now understand this, and please take note of this. When you start the very, very first layer of it, sometimes the stuff may not always stand up. Lay them on their backs and then build up and go from there. That's the best thing to do. Now, if you guys have seen the video when I was helping one of my other vendor friends put the Mario stuff in the Showtime machines over at the theater, you will quickly see and come to realize what I'm talking about here. But what matters to you? Here is a big thing, another big thing when restocking. If you're running more expensive items, should you tuck the plush in a little bit tighter? Absolutely. That way you have a little bit more of a struggle versus what you would with the generic plush. However, anymore with the way things are going nowadays, with with the way cost of stuff is going up, anybody with generic stuff is putting them in there tighter. So, by all means, follow suit with that as well with the generic stuff. But the thing is, there's a line you need to draw. Is it too tight for people to pull out? If you think it's too tight, always pull them up just slightly, just a little bit where the heads are sticking up. If you guys are don't know what I'm talking about, you need to watch my Neon World claw machine restock videos. Check those out. And follow all my restock videos. I have a lot of them here on this channel, so that's something that I think people needs to really grasp the whole concept of. Especially when you are doing that, and you're basically new at doing this. The ideal really getting the word out for your vending business is either have friends help you share the fact that you have a business doing claw machines and what have you. That's what people need to do. And then go out and by all means go to random places you think that might want a claw machine. Get a hold of the owner. Because and tell them, hey, this is what my machine does. You might want to tell them, if they ask you what your payout ratio is going to be, some people say you might want to present that to the location owner, blah, blah, blah. And some areas will have a commission that people have to pay. And that's something that a lot of people have not come to realize and understand. And again, when you go watching my restock videos, please take mental notes or write down on tabs on how I do things, okay? That's a big key. You need to take note of it. It's always good to take note from other people. A lot of my restocks is more educational for other vendors. And I tend to make my restock videos more informal, but yet fun at the same time, or try to. But one thing you need to do as a vendor, don't ever get distracted. That's a big thing. Because if you get distracted, you're not going to get a lot of your work done as quickly as you need to be able to go to other locations. What you need to do, and I do this, I tune out everything that's going on around me and focus on what I need to do when I'm helping my vendor friends to get everything done in a timely fashion and get out, okay? That way they can get on the road and go to their next location and vice versa. So, alright, I'm going to end it here, and I hope you guys got something out of it. And again, search restock videos by Captain Namco and take a note of them. Take note on how I do things and vice versa. Okay, I hope you guys got something out of it. Thanks for watching. Leave a like and a comment down below. We'll see you next time. And before I go, I always want to remind you guys that Jesus loves you. Have a wonderful day, everybody.